welcome back to Building Tokyo, and this is going to be an episode where I'm actually not going to be building Tokyo this time. I'm going to be building New York City, and the reason for that is that I'm going to be showing you how to plan your cities from real-life cities. I've been getting a lot of comments and messages from people, like, how do you do this? How do you plan out your cities like this? Or how do you know what you're doing? And things like that. So I want to show you like the basics of how to plan your city and the blueprints and all that stuff in this here. Okay, so let me show you this notepad right here. I just made it like 1, 2, 3 steps for planning your city from real life cities. Okay, number one is, obviously you gotta study the city that you want to build. And in this case, I'm going to be studying New York City. And step one of that, or A, is look at the map. Look at the map, study the city, the area, district, etc., or whatever, And then B, analyze the road network. So let's do that right now. Here, I'm on Google Maps now. Let's switch it to Earth. Yeah, so New York City. Let me just type it on the top here, NYC, I guess. There we go. So maybe, New York City is obviously huge, and SimCity, the whole region is probably not even the size of SimCity. Probably the whole region is probably the plot size of Manhattan. I mean, sadly to say, people complain about bigger maps all the time, but that's not the point of this video. This is for people that want to get creative and have a challenge, or and stuff like that. So, out of this whole thing, what maybe. Start somewhere. Where do you think you're going to start? Well, to help you guys out, maybe, or to help yourself out to decide, try thinking about landmarks, like the Statue of Liberty, or the Empire State Building, the Twin Towers, which is no longer there. I made this video on 9/11, by the way, but you're not going to be seeing it on 9/11 anyway, but, for Americans, never forget I'm American. So, about landmarks, landmarks will be a good reference or a starting point to if you want to build a real-life city, like Paris or something like that, if you have the French set, or Big Ben if you have the London set. Well, in this case, let's just do New York. Okay, so in SimCity we have the landmark, the Empire State Building. Let's just type that, Empire State Building. And that'll be the first landmark we'll do here. Whoa, I never saw this before. Google is doing some. Dang, they're getting better and more advanced every day here. It's all 3D and stuff. It's like Empire is like poking me in the face right now. Whoa. Alright, well, I'm not flying around with that. So, okay, so we have this, as you can see, Empire State Building right here. I don't know if you can see my cursor or not, but it's right here. And, well, the obvious question is, how do we know what the scale is? Well, let's just forget about that for now and just study what we have here. We have Empire State Building here, and we got Broadway here. Just study the road network, get familiar with the area. Try to generate the image in your head instead of and maybe there's different types of people out there. Some people may not have that capability, and maybe they have to draw it out or something, or some people can retain it in their head and just visualize it like an artist. And I'm an artist. I do filmmaking. I'm a cinematographer, and that's pretty much where my background lies. How I do all these things, and I also draw as well. But I haven't drawn in a long time. But pretty much my whole life I've been known to be good at drawing. Among my classmates and stuff. So, for those artists, you can just visualize it and stuff like that. For other people, you could draw that on paper if you want. But we're going to be developing the blueprints anyway. That's going to help a lot, and but we just have to get familiar. Get familiar with the area first. So obviously, New York is a giant grid system. This is completely different from Tokyo. If you guys remember from my Building Tokyo videos, and you can obviously tell that Tokyo is just a huge mess of roads. I've said it many times. That's because it's been growing, from not ancient times, but from back in the day, uh, way back in the day, before United States was even born. And they have all these just roads that just creep out and creep out, like kind of like a spider web, thing right there. So, but this is just a giant grid. All of Manhattan's kind of a giant grid here. And here's the Empire State Building. We have Broadway here. It's going in a diagonal, intersecting what is it, Sixth Ave, Sixth Ave here. And we got some building here. I don't know, what is this? What is that? This is the Penn Station. I'm not really familiar with New York. I haven't been there in a long time. So, like, since I was a kid, I don't even really remember that experience, really. But if you have been there, that'll also help you a lot. If you have traveled there, that'll help you a lot. So let me see if I can get in the street view here. How do I get in the street view here? I think I have to right-click it, right? Yeah, street view. There we go. Okay, so we're on, what is it, West 33rd Street and Penn Station. Maybe if guys, any of you guys are New Yorkers, you can, kind of tell me or tell others what it is, what Penn Station is. I'm guessing since it's a station, maybe it's a subway station? I mean, I see subway over here. I guess it's a subway. Well, this is pointing at, what is this building? Oh, this is the post office. Okay, so, oh, there's the subway. Well, obviously we cannot have subways in SimCity, now can we? But what is this? Penn Station. Probably gonna have to look that up on Google, but maybe one of the steps in making SimCity is, relating real-life objects with SimCity objects, and this object right here could be represented by the Expo Center. Maybe it is an Expo Center in real life, but who knows? But you can try to replicate this building by putting the Expo Center here. We got the U.S. Post Office here. We got some train tracks or subway tracks. Just kind of like a housing point. I see this in Tokyo as well. It's just a train yard. Okay, we got a university here, so now we know there's a university in New York, where you're going to be building stuff to represent that. And yeah, well, let's just try not to go too far from the Empire State Building because we know the plot size is not so big, and we got a park here and things like that. So let me pull up the notepad again. Okay, now we studied the area. I guess it's fairly easy, just not much going on. It's just a grid and stuff, and we analyze the road network. It's just a grid, and we have Broadway going in a diagonal, dissecting or intersecting many roads here. And yeah, okay, so now for part 2, draw the blueprints. And the first step of that is relate the objects to SimCity objects, and we already did that with like the Penn Station here. With the maybe you could do it with the Expo Center, or and the Empire State Building. SimCity has the Empire State Building, and stuff like that. Okay, now we gotta do the tracing of the blueprints here. You could do that on Microsoft Paint or Photoshop or whatever. Just take a screenshot of it and then put on Photoshop or Paint. Well, I don't know if you can do it on Paint, but you can put on Photoshop or After Effects. I use After Effects, and people might call me crazy for doing that. I edit my photos on After Effects, simply because I work with videos. I'm most familiar with After Effects here more than Photoshop. Photoshop is actually pretty confusing for me and stuff. But many of you guys probably just do it on Photoshop. Just take a screenshot and then set that as a background layer, then put another layer on top of it like a solid, and then set the opacity down of that to where you could see, just like basically just get tracing on a paper and stuff here. But let's just try to sketch out the entire Midtown Manhattan here, approximately around this area. uh, and things like that. Okay. Okay, so now I'm in After Effects now, and you guys, again, you guys might call me crazy for using After Effects, but that's what I'm used to. So I'm gonna do a composition. You can do, maybe you could relate it somehow with Photoshop here. Okay, so we obviously got this here, and I'm gonna make a new solid here, make it white, and then just turn it off. And this is going to be the most tedious part. Well, okay, so from my series, you notice that there's like red roads, black roads, dark roads, and stuff like that. And one of the steps in doing that is look over the regions on SimCity and study the plots. Maybe your city has like a one-way entry point or a two-way entry point, and maybe for this case, one entry point might be the most relatable, or most that terminology for this area. And how I could say that is, we can have this wait, let's make a new solid. I use red as the main highway, which basically means the road that comes off the main highway on the on SimCity. There's like this just one road that comes off from the region, and we could use maybe we could use like this road here, or maybe we could even use Broadway, who knows, but let's just make it more actually, yeah, let's just do it Broadway here. Broadway's a famous road here. Yeah, I don't know how you guys do it in Photoshop, but this is how I do it in After Effects. That was my Skype again. Okay, so now we got kind of, well, something's wrong here. Let me zoom in this. Let me move this over. There we go. Fit to 100%. Okay, so now we got this Broadway here. That's kind of inaccurate, but whatever. Okay, now let's try to fill in the black roads. Black roads I normally distinguish as like the big roads, the main roads, main avenues, but they don't really have to be built with avenues. They could just be, roads to place hold where you're going to put your important stuff is, or something where the important stuff are. I don't know, something like that. If you understand what I'm saying, let's do that here. Make a new solid on black here. And how you can really see that is maybe if you have a landmark, you can build the avenue, or the black main avenue here, on West 34th Street here, because that's where kind of where the Empire State Building is resting on, or kind of, or if the road is big, like bigger than any other road, that's obviously like a main avenue, and things like that. Major road, and another major road is probably maybe the Penn Station area, So let's do it on 8th Avenue here. Put the pen tool here. And there we go. So now we kind of have like two major roads here, and let's see if we could find some more major roads that are bigger than the other roads here, or have anything significant on it. Maybe let's just do another main road here on the one right next to the Empire State Building here, or kind of like the entry point. Whoops, next to the entry point to the main highway here. What is this? 5th Ave? Yeah, it's 5th Ave. Okay. Now we got 3 main avenues or roads. Yeah, main avenues here. You could either use it with an avenue in the game or a road. It doesn't really matter. Maybe if you want to do it with avenue, because in real life it's a big avenue, and things like that. And maybe let's do it on the Avenue of Americas. That sounds like a big road there. So let's do that on that. Okay, and there we have it. Now we have 4 main roads here, and I don't really see anything else here. So let's just go on to dark gray. If you guys remember from my videos, dark gray resembles secondary avenues, or secondary main roads kind of thing, or main roads in general. So what that normally means is just like the lesser significant, or well, not really insignificant, but not much of a concentration of important things on that road. So let's just say like 7th Ave here. It looks pretty big, and it's next to the Penn Station, but it's not as big as the other one. What is it? I forgot what this is. What is that street? 8th Ave. So it's not as big as 8th Ave here. I'm gonna put that on in the black here. Okay, now we got the first secondary Ave, or well, something like that. Sorry, excuse me, my throat's getting kind of dry from talking so much. Okay, so let's look for some more. Maybe Madison Avenue here. Let's do that. Wait, whoops, I'm on the red. Madison Avenue here. Whoa. Okay, now we got 2 main or 2 secondary avenues here. Let's just do this one too, Park Avenue. It looks bigger than the other ones. Okay, so now we got these roads here. Most of it seems to be like most of the important roads are going vertical or diagonally here, and whoops. And then we'll use the less important roads, or they're not really less important, just kind of a lesser weight to them when you put things on it. They probably just serve as regular residential roads in the game and stuff. And this is going to be very tedious. You know, you got to trace out all these roads here that just crisscross. If I could do this. Okay, so I think I'm done sketching everything here. Let's see here. Yeah, I think I pretty much sketched everything here. And you know, again, I'm not really familiar with the place because I haven't been there. I have been to Tokyo, so I'm more familiar with that. So let me show you the Shibuya blueprints here. You know, we kind of have like, you know, these light gray and dark gray and stuff like that, and we have the red. We got the main highway, black main avenues, dark gray secondary avenues, light gray main streets, and then the green, you know, the park zones. Or I normally try to fuse park zones and schools together. So let's just make another solid here, or whatever you're using. I don't know, a layer, I guess. I normally associate it with green, because parks are green. And you know, this is obviously a park here, and I guess this is a park as well. This is a park, even though this is probably not even relevant at all. Maybe I wouldn't really consider this as a park, but it's a university. And I would kind of consider this area as a park because there's a lot of trees. But you can do whatever with it, like a fusion of some skyscrapers and some maybe like high wealth parks there and things like that. Okay, let's turn it on here. Okay, now we got like these green things here, the parks or school zones here, and use the Shibuya blueprints as reference. Here we got light blue. There's no trains or subways. Well, there's subways in New York, obviously, but we won't be able to replicate that in SimCity here. And let's see how large are these roads here. They're obviously one-way roads, but they have maybe about 3 lanes. So maybe just just have it as a high-density road, and maybe have Broadway as an avenue. Okay, so I think we're done with the blueprints here, and this is pretty much what it looks like, just the bare skin of it. I didn't fill in the outer spaces because I don't think there would be even space for it. Oh yeah, you could also mark. Let's make it a special layer for like landmarks. Okay, with a special layer. For my Tokyo series, I already knew where they were, so I didn't really need that. But maybe you need it for reference. Let's do yellow, maybe. Yeah. Let's turn that off. Okay, Empire State Building is obviously here. And then we have the Penn Station here. Maybe as a expo center, maybe. And we got a U.S. Postal Office here, which I don't know what you could use that for. Maybe another landmark just for if you're doing tourism, and something that looks like it. Probably one of the, I forgot what it's called, but it's like that town hall building. Okay, no, so now yellow here, and okay, so let's go look over the regions in SimCity and maybe what could be compatible if you're making a New York City region that replicates these districts of Midtown Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, and all that other stuff here. So let me just jump start into SimCity here. So now we're in SimCity here, and we're going to be looking at some regions that probably would best replicates New York. Not exactly look like it as one body, but district-wise, or like these plots will replicate these areas that you're building. So obviously the question is, or the what you want is you want something that has like a lot of plots. If you want to do like a lot of things, maybe Titan Gorge or Horizon Archipelago, Discovery Delta, but some of these regions here are kind of like hilly, and you also gotta look at the connections here. Maybe some of the connections that you want are not there. Since this is New York, you probably won't even need trains and stuff. But in Tokyo, I needed trains in every part that I made of. So maybe I use Viridian Woods for building Tokyo, because most of the plots are pretty much just you have all this space to work with, and it's just flat ground. And there's some plots here that have like water in it and stuff. So let's just use this. Yeah, 16 plots anyways. So let's do this. Building New York City. I don't know if I ever will make New York City. Let's do it on. Should I do it on Sandbox? Well, let's just do this as a. I'm just going to abbreviate it. NYC as a sandbox mode, and maybe if I ever did make a real New York City's building New York City, I'll probably make it spell it out without the abbreviating this and non-sandbox or regular mode, or maybe you guys could do it. After watching this video, I would like to see some cool representations or replications of real life cities. Okay, so for looking at what we have here, all these plots, let's think about, okay, we looked at our map, remember, it had Broadway as the main highway, which is the road that immediately comes off of these these highways here. The the yellow, and probably the most suitable thing for it is maybe something that enters through the middle of the town, or the plots. So let's choose this one maybe because it looks like it has the entry points in the middle. So let's just do that. Well, actually no. Maybe this. Not exactly sure. Hold on. Let's just do it here anyway. Okay, so I claimed it. It's taken quite a while here. Alright, there we go. Okay, so now we're in supposedly Midtown Manhattan. Let's just name it Midtown Manhattan, I guess. Midtown Manhattan. Alright, so looking at maybe this perspective here, we have Broadway. Okay, one of the things you might want to figure out is, what scale would I be doing, or cropping, or how to crop the blueprints that you made, or scale it to size. Okay, so let me pull up the map here. Okay, this is the map on After Effects now. Maybe we know the size of New York City here, which is this yellow, this yellow square right here, or I mean rectangle, and that's about. We kind of know the size of that. I think that's about the size of of one long tree path or tree. If you guys know that tool or that park. The tree row thing, one of those, and maybe half of a park or half of that, another one. So just 1.5. That's probably the size of this. So this whole block right here, this whole block is probably the size of 3 tree rows. So that's probably the scale of this whole thing here. We're going to do 3 tree rows for these long, what is it? Horizontal blocks here, and this is going to be the entry point of the city here. And let's do that. Okay, so now we got that kind of generator ahead. This is going to be very small. I know it's going to be kind of disappointing here. And Broadway's coming in at a diagonal here. Let's just do this. I would probably say this is kind of a a sketching. You're sketching the roads now. We're on part 3 now, building from the blueprints, and you're sketching out the road system here. And this is something you really just gotta visualize and perceive or practice with. Whoever that draw out there or do graphic design and stuff, they would have a much more easier time because they can try to measure this. Or if you have any background in architecting and just that kind of stuff, they'll have a much more easier time in doing this. So probably like right there, maybe, yeah, right there. And then we're gonna have. This map is kind of not flat, but whatever. Okay, looking at the perspective of the map, we're going to draw maybe this. I forgot what street this was, but this is the first main avenue here. Okay, now we got the main highway. Oh shoot. Oh yeah, this is sandbox mode. I almost forgot that this was I thought it was regular mode for a second. Okay, so now we got the main highway here, the red highway. This is red, and this is going to be representing Broadway. I forgot what this is, but this is the second main avenue, or the black one, the main avenue. Okay. So Empire State Building is probably in this small vicinity here. Let's do like a, let's, according to the blueprints, it's about, let's turn on the guides here. Okay, let's use this as reference. Oops. Let's use that as reference. Okay, here. And the next avenue, or main avenue, which I'm probably going to be building with a high density road here. Let's just to save space and also be a little bit more realistic, because it's supposed to be a one-way road anyway. So let's. This is the part. This is probably going to be the most hardest part, and when you're replicating a city here, because it's just a lot of trial and error. Okay, so wait. Empire State Building. Maybe, well, god dang it, I wish there was like some kind of, let's just throw down this is probably the length of yeah, that's probably the length of the Empire State Building here. Yeah, I would say so. It's about the same length. Okay, so now we know, like, maybe this large field is probably the closest thing to the Empire State Building width here. I'm gonna scoot it over a bit. Okay. Whoops. Yes, yes. And now we got, this is going to be the second, or another main avenue here. And don't worry about this, you know, this is, it looks like, you know, that SimCity 4 where it just goes off the map and connects to another city. You can just leave it there because you don't have to really do anything. I mean, you could do like this and stuff. That'll help too, but traffic's not really going to go anywhere to do that kind of thing. Okay. Let's see if my theory was correct, where I use these. If this block is about... Okay, I was wrong. Okay, these blocks are about four tree rows here wide. Whoops. And then pretty much from here you just keep on tracing it. So yeah, this is Midtown Manhattan here. Very simple. If any of you guys want to try it out, and, see all these high rises and things like that. Um, and that's pretty much okay. So we're on step 3 or part 3. Building from the blueprints here, and we already sketched out the roads, fill in the districts and neighborhoods with what you study on the map, such as the Expo, which is Penn Station, and the Empire State Building here. And then from there on is just city growth and the end result of what you envisioned and studied on the map. So whoever wants to try it out, good luck. I'm really looking forward to see some really cool representations of real life cities here. And I heard people making a lot of people message me that I inspired them to make their hometown or some other cities that they always wanted to make or visit. So good luck, guys. And this is Building Tokyo. Stay tuned for more, and also my other series. I have no idea what I'm doing, so sayonara. Or in this case, I made America, or I made New York. So goodbye.